Okay, everyone. This here is our presentation on the how to do your own health and safety statement from the BeSmart website. So the BeSmart website is a tool and it's free to use, and it's www.besmart.ie. And today we're going to be going through how to produce and to draw up your own health and safety statement. And to do your health and safety statement, you have to go through a few levels of risk assessment first before you actually finalize your health and safety statement. So we'll go through that step by step using the BeSmart website. And then for ourselves now in DLDC, whenever we're doing a presentation, now you'll become familiar with the next two slides, this one and the next one, and that's the community standards, the All Ireland standards for community work, of which there are 5 of them. And these are the 5 here. And what are the standards? The standards are collectivity, community empowerment, social justice and sustainability, human rights, equality, anti-discrimination, and participation. So those 2 slides you'll become familiar with through any PowerPoints or any work that we're doing with community groups going forward in the LDC. So just as always, a word of caution, when we do give out any information to the public, we always clear ourselves in advance of that and ensure that everybody knows that we're not lawyers, we're not bank officials, we're not accountants, we do not work for the Charity Regulator Authority or the Revenue, and we are not or ever have been insurance brokers. But however, the information from the following slides have been sourced from a number of reliable verified agencies and organisations. And basically the slides that you're going to see are screenshots from the steps that you yourselves will go through on the BeSmart website to draw up your own health and safety statement. So just forwarding on from that, I think this is a kind of it's a short statement, but it's a powerful statement, and it's don't learn safety by accident. So when an accident happens, we try and avoid them as much as possible, but in a way, if it can be avoided at all, if there was something flagged beforehand and it wasn't addressed, then it's too late. The accident has happened. So at all costs, as managers, as community organisations, we try and keep the public safe, keep ourselves safe, keep the team safe. So that's the objective really at the end of the day, is keeping everybody safe. You go into work and your family expect you home in the evening. Okay, so that's basically the powerful message I feel from that statement there. So again, why do we need health and safety statements? Firstly, it's the law in every work environment, regardless of where you are. You're protecting people from harm. The onus is on the organisation to protect people from harm, minimise potential risks, know what procedures are in place. All staff, all members, all the team should all know what procedures are in place in the event of anything happening. And know the policies and know the protocol. Keep you safe and healthy. Recognise and identify risks in the workplace. Even though you have, at the end of the day, when you do your health and safety statement, there's always something new that comes along that maybe is not on your health and safety statement, and you can go back always and address that and include it into your health and safety statement. Even like in the last couple of years, a prime example of that was COVID. So no health and safety statement pre-2021 had COVID in their health and safety statement, whereas now, yes, they do. And then again, protect the success of the business. So if you've got a good reputation for being health conscious or health and safety conscious, you do have a better public persona, for want of a better word. So anyway, so to get into the BeSmart website, it's www.besmart.ie. So the first page you go to will be this one here, and it's the Business Electronic Safety Step Management and Risk Assessment Tool. So there's 4 parts to it. You have, the first of all is free to use. The second part then is you select your business, and we'll go through the options on how to do that. Prepare then your risk assessment, and then download your safety statement. So even though we're calling this today the health and safety statement, the majority, 90% of this work that you're going to be doing on this is a risk assessment. And it's a very, very good tool, and it's very useful to use. So you have to set yourself up as a new user, and you log in with your email address, you set up a password, And after you've that done, then you will get a link by email, which will allow you then to open your own portal on the BeSmart website. So here we have where you set up your name, so your business name. So use a name that you're that's on your constitution. So have that, and that should be kind of bog standard practice with everyone anyway. So when you're doing any official document, you should always use a name that's on your constitution, so everything ties in together. The same with your bank account, and anything to do with the organization should have the same name all the way through. So record the name of the business as the actual name that's on your constitution. Use your email address, and then you confirm your email address, and then you set up your password. When you just know that when you do log into this and you use your email address, you can't register the same email address with two different organizations. So you make sure you get all this correct at step one. So then, as I say, when you have that done, you'll get an email link then to open your own BeSmart account. So this is what you'll get back once you click on your link that comes by email to you. And when you can see here, you can see start new risk assessment. Can I just ask, can everybody see the slides okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll be sending out a copy at the end anyway. So that's grand, thank you. So then you start new risk assessment, you click on that. So literally it's quite a simple tool to use, but it is very, very, you need a lot of information regarding your organization. So the key people would be your managers. The key people to complete this would be your committee. There's also an element to it as well of the consultation element, and that's consulting with everybody else in your team before you'd finish this. So everybody has an input in your health and safety statement. Everybody on your team has an input. So when you click on start your risk assessment, it'll open this slide. And then here is your primary business type section. So if you just look up, and can you see my cursor on the screen? Maybe not.
We can,
Yes,
Mary.
we
Yeah,
can.
we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So up here where you see select, so you select your business from here. Then you do your risk assessment, and we'll go through those steps. Here you have consult, and this is where it allows you the time to consult with your team. And then number 4 then is you complete the process of your statement. So when you click in here, and the majority of your community organizations, so I put in for the sake of doing the trial health and safety statement, and for the benefit of the SEN network, what I put in here was company or community, sorry. So when I put in the word community in this box here, a drop down of 2 options came up over here, which was community employment scheme and community centre. So I've chosen the community centre. So depending on your organization, what your organization is, when you put the first word in here, over on the select business type is where you choose your option then. So you can view all business types here on that tab. So when you see that, you can then select whichever one fits your organization best. And then you can go back at any stage to the previous slide, or not the slide, but the previous page on the BeSmart website. And then you select continue. So link businesses then, risk assessment for community centre. So basically a community centre can be a number of different things. It can be a very basic community centre where you have a hall that's rented out to the community with nothing else happening. Whereas other organisations then might run bingos and have other elements to their community centre. Some places then would have play parks, would have a canteen, would have food, would have a cafe. So you select, when you put in your community centre, it'll give you the option to choose wherever elements that you would have that might be in your organisation. So I've selected bingo for this one. This one here is bar, public house. So you just select whichever one is relevant to yourselves. If neither of those 2 are relevant, you just click NA, not applicable. And then you continue. After that, then you get this page, and when I screenshotted this, it only takes in half of the page. There's the same amount again, if not more, at the bottom of this. So the list goes on, and you can scroll down to see each and every one of the topics. So you have the electricity, you have fire, slips, trips and falls, manual handling, chemicals, working at a height, workplace transport, display screen equipment, so that's all your computer equipment, your maintenance, driving for work, if you have anybody out in Meals and Wheels, employees new to the job, so what your steps are as far as introducing a new employee to their role, employing young people. So some of these will not be applicable, whereas others will definitely. I mean, electricity is everyone's, fire is everyone's, slips, trips and falls is everyone's. So when you click start, so you go through these one by one, and as I say, there's about 26, 28 in total. So when you click on these one by one, it opens a whole new window. And in that window, then it has everything to do with electricity, everything to do with the fire, everything to do with slips, trips and falls. And the good thing about it is it brings up scenarios or areas that you mightn't think of, whereas this is flagging everything that's in it. So for the purpose of this one, I'm only choosing one out of all of those drop down. Whereas you will have, as you being the manager or the committee of an organization, you will have to go through every one that's relevant to your organization. But for the purposes of this one, I've only done the risk assessment for the fire. So I clicked, the question was here, fire can cause smoke inhalation, burns and other serious injuries to you, your employees and or visitors. Could your employees and visitors be exposed to fire in your workplace? So you select yes or no. So I don't think anybody on the Zoom call today can select no here, because the chances of a fire can happen anytime. So we can click yes there. So when you click yes there, the yes no box option list opens up. So I'll show you what that screen looks like now. And this is it. And again, this is not an exhausted list. There's more further down. So you click no. So for example, there now sources of oxygen and ignition are controlled, amounts of flammable materials and minimized, and waste is removed daily. So basically anything in that line. So if are you adhering to that? Keep your workplace clean and tidy. Yes, no. So basically any flammables, anything that's sitting about, if there's an event and there's a lot of paper, there's been maybe people smoking outside the front door. Are people emptying those ashtrays? Are people cleaning up and making the place as safe as possible? So you click yes or no there. So it's highlighting basically what might be what you have in place or what you haven't in place. Again, fire alarm manual call points and smoke heat detectors are in place where necessary, keeping good working order and checked regularly. So majority of places do have people come around, they check the smoke alarms, they check their take away fire extinguishers and do tests, and they have the label, they're all labeled as to when next they're due a service. So I would imagine the majority of people on the call today will be able to tick yes there, and you have the documentation behind you to back up that, be it if it's an ADT contract you have, or if it's some other organization that come in to do the fire alarm for you. So you have, there is to get your certificate, they do come out and they do the check on your equipment to make sure that it's in working order, and then they give you a certificate for that. So you do have the documentation to back up your yes answer there on that one. And then again, the next one then, emergency routes and exits are clearly marked, kept clear at all times, and lead directly outside to a safe area or to a safe area. So again, that's a means of going around checking your exits. When there's a power cut, do the exit lights come on? Are they clear? Are they clear of any like pallets or any obstructions, that they're always kept clear, that your staff know to keep them clear, not to leave a pallet, not to leave a box sitting at an emergency exit. So again, this is talking to your team and making sure all those are in place. If you happen to do a walk around of your community centre and you do happen to see something blocking an exit, you do have to put no there, because obviously something your team doesn't know the standard of the organization, by keeping policies and keeping everything up to speed as far, or even just being knowledgeable of their policies as far as keeping doorways clear. So basically, if you do a walk around on the day that you're doing this and you find that there is an emergency blocked, you do have to click no there, because there's obviously somebody's not in the know of what the procedures are. So Again, it's a lot of it's common sense, but a lot of it can be sometimes just a little bit of laziness and a little bit of carelessness. So again, avoid the accidents where at all possible. Emergency lights are installed on escape routes where necessary at outside exits near call points. Firefighting equipment are tested regularly. So some of these are repetitive, as you can see, but you do have to read them all and just tick yes or no in each of the relevant boxes for your organization. Now, when you have that done, then you move on. You can move on then to your risk to the fire. So, this is the second part of the fire. And then here you have this blue text in some of the boxes here. So we have fire up here. Again, we've ticked yes here. Could your employees and visitors be exposed to fire in your workplace? We've ticked yes. So here's the actions. So sources of oxygen and ignition are controlled. Amounts of flammable materials are, what's that word? I can't really see it with my eyes. Minimized and waste is removed daily. Sorry, but it is very small on the screen. So basically there, so if you can see then in the bigger picture, let me see, can I increase the size of that to show you? Yeah. So daily and weekly checks by the user and 3 monthly and annual checks by a competent person. So this is so if you're not really sure what this actually means, if you click on the blue text, it'll show you what they're actually asking in this case. And you'll find the blue text on all of these boxes as you go down on the table. So again, the question mark here, click on anything that's blue, highlighted blue, and you'll see what it'll give you more information on what they're trying to find out from your organization when you're putting in an answer there. So that's your risk assessment. And then electricity, I've done the second one, which is electricity again. It's something like the fire. So you'll get the same all the way through. So each and every one of the tabs that you choose, whether it's fire, electricity, slips or falls, you have to answer the first question in this box here. If you answer no, you can move on to the next next tab that's on the previous page. So this is where you have to get your ducks in a line to answer yes to everything. When you answer yes to everything, you've got a perfectly good health and safety statement. You have all the procedures in place that needs to keep people safe. So here, do you have electrical installations, fuse boards, power tools, office equipment, etc. in your workplace? Yes is the answer there. Everybody does. And then that opens up the one below. So all new electrical installations and all extensions are tested and certified as safe by a competent, qualified electrician, yes or no. So if you have a caretaker in there who's doing things with the electrics, not qualified, that should be addressed on your health and safety statement. So when you have all of the tabs that are relevant to you, or all of the hazards that are relevant to your organization completed, you can then, this is the screen that will open. So you'll see electricity, then you've got the green tab here, that's complete. Fire is complete. Slips, trips and falls complete. Manual handling is complete. That's as far as I went for the purposes of this information piece. So if you look at chemicals now, it's got as continue there, and work at height continue, workplace transport continue. Those are not complete. So you will have to complete those to finish off your statement. So on slide 2, you'll see then, I couldn't go any further. If you go back to the slide before that, the system wouldn't allow me to go any further with this until I had all of these complete. So what I had to do, just for the sake of this exercise, was tick all of these as being complete, even though they're not, to let me move on. So the system won't let you move on until you have all of those done. So there, when you have identified a hazard summary, you have to review all the actions and then click on each tick, and they'll highlight in green color, and then you select continue. So that would be, so your trips and flaws. So wet cleaned when the workplace is closed or quiet, and wet areas are, there's a piece missing there from the screenshot. Hang on a second, I have the screen enlarged, that's why. Sorry, minimize this. Okay, so here you have slips, trips and falls. So floors are wet, cleaned when the workplace is closed, or quiet and wet areas are cordoned off until dry. So yes, if that's the way your team work, you can tick that there. If it's not applicable, you can tick that either. So whichever one you tick highlights in the green box with the white arrow in it. And these all, anything that you identify as you go along, automatically populate into an action list, and we'll see that at the very end when we're doing when we're actually downloading the health and safety statement. So all of this information is backing up on a different document onto your health and safety document as you go along. So ensure that the information you're putting in is correct, because it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of patience and a lot of energy. So you don't want to have to go back and do it again. So when you're doing this exercise, and it is an important one, and it's free, saves the company a lot of money. Yeah, put your time into it to get it done to a very good standard, and be as honest as possible through the whole thing, because otherwise, if an accident happens and you've misled the public by your health and safety statement being wrong, that wouldn't be good community, good public practice, really, I suppose, because you're in a role of responsibility, and you're in a role where you're responsible for the health and safety of others on your team. So yeah, so this is why I would absolutely get your committee involved in this process, so everybody has an input into it and can highlight anything that you've missed, rather than having the onus on the manager to do the whole thing. So when you've that done, that's pretty much your risk assessment. And then we're at stage 3. So you've got the risk assessment done now. So it takes you then to stage 3, and this is the consultation piece. Now there is a video to do this. I've showed you a video here where it's basically like a 2-minute video where it asks you to go around to your staff and just check with everybody to point out the hazards that you have in your workplace. So that would mean your team, your staff, your committee, your volunteers, and then when you've that done, you select confirm to continue on to the next part of so confirm and continue on to the next part of the health and safety statement. Okay, so when you've that done, you get these 3 options, and this is the safety statement. You manage your action list, and you have your browse hazards. So you can safety statement. So download your safety statement, including risk assessments and action lists. So it all gets included into one document. You can edit, print, sign, and date your document. So you have when the downloaded version's there, you can print it off and do that. Manage your action list, assign actions with due dates to individuals, close out completed actions, and view controls not applicable. So while you're going through that, it does allow you to add in where you would have you would assign a task to another member of the team. So you have to date it, you sign it as being, you record who it's been assigned to, and you date it, and then you also add the date of that it has to be completed by, and I'll show you that in a wee while. Now that's the one we've seen earlier, sorry. So the about window allows you to set a date. This is what I was talking about, sorry. To set a date and assign the task to the appropriate person. Also allows you to mark it as complete. Excuse me. And then you see that the next slide for the drop down, and that the drop down option here is where you have the marking as complete. So this is all, it'll all make sense when you're actually in the portal and you're doing it for yourself. So there's one step that if you go too far on it, it means that you can't go back to edit it. So for you to be at the stage where you download and print your health and safety statement, you will have make sure that you have all this completed or assigned to somebody on your team to complete. So basically here you have maintenance. So workshop or storage areas used by maintenance employees are adequately lit, free from trip hazards, and items are stored properly. So you can mark that as complete, or you can assign control. So when you click that, it opens a window where you can assign the control to somebody. And here is the window here. So you assign to, and you put the due date in. So for the sake of this, I put in the 25th of July, 2024, and that gets recorded onto the your health and safety statement. So then we have then your risk assessment is completed. So risk assessment for community centre complete, statutory for the last updated on the 25th of July. So this is when I did this for the purpose of today. Your risk assessment toolkit, and you edit your risk assessment here. So this is where you can edit it. If you pass this point, this is the point where you're if you save and continue, you're too far ahead then to go back and edit. So this is the, oh, I'm just going back there, sorry. This is the piece where we have, you just make sure that you have this all completed before you do the final, before you download. You won't get the opportunity to go back. It will do a pop-up. It does it live on the screen when you're there. It'll do a pop-up where it'll give you a wee reminder that if you do go beyond this point, that you won't be able to go back and edit. So you'll know that the website itself does that. It gives you the flags that with you. So that's pretty much your health and safety on the BeSmart website. So if we go back to here, you download your health and safety statement. So I'm going to stop share now, and I'm going to show you what the health and safety statement looks like when you download it. And this is the one that I've done for this. So if we look at, let me know if you can see. I'll have to start sharing again in a second. Share again, and okay, so can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is now what your health and safety statement is going to look like. So it's going to be printed off on a PDF. So this is where you won't get the chance to go back and edit it. So keep it, as I say, it's very important not to miss that step where you go too far and you can't edit again. So watch out for that pop-up coming up. So this is your health and safety statement. So it's the date that I've completed this was the 24th of July 2024. I call the company Test Company just for the sake of this. So it's your safety statement, including risk assessment. So, and it's a piece of work that doesn't get done in a day, or even it takes a wee while. You have to keep revisiting it to get it complete. So this is what it looks like. So your safety statement includes risk assessment. So part A, safety statement and appendices. Excuse me, section 1, health and safety policies. And then you have the one. So it's all itemized there on this page, and it just shows you everything that we've done, and it comes out as an absolutely excellent document. It's one of the best websites and very, very user friendly that I've ever come across, as far as a tool that you can use. It's free to an organization, that you're not paying over the odds for it. So you can see all the pieces that's covered now in this. So you've got the visitors, accident reporting and investigating, emergency procedures, welfare facilities, workplace requirements, personal protective equipment, pregnancy at work, young persons, work-related stress and dignity at work. So because this all comes from the information that you've put in on the other parts of it. What we're looking at here now is the PDF version, is your downloaded version. So make sure that you have everything in from the start, and just take the time to go through each of those tabs, those hazards, and take the time to get those and get them actioned as well. So you have pregnancy at work and young persons, work-related stress and dignity at work. Appendices, then the forms. You have forms and records, emergency information, accident and incident investigation form, safety data sheets, reports for hazardous substances. So these are things that maybe you're not familiar with, and this is fantastic for giving you all the information that you need to have, and it'll be on your health and safety statement when you have it complete. So and part B, risk assessment and action list, and that's pretty much what we just did, the risk assessment and action list. So this is a fairly hefty document. There's a lot of reading in it, but it's an absolutely brilliant piece of work when you have it to hand. If you have an accident, or if you have anything happens in your organization, you have this to hand to show that you have everything in place, and that this anybody who walks into your centre and asks you for your health and safety statement, here it is, and it looks as an actual professional piece of work when you bring it all together at the end. So health and safety policy, and of course here then you can fill in we off whatever your organization is, and you fill in that as, so you need to read it and just add in where you need to add in your organization's details. So Kia, and I would always stress here as well, not to name anybody here, because people move on. And you have new members coming in committees all the time. So just use your organization's name, and then obviously your chairperson or whoever has signs off on it. But I wouldn't, rather than using a person's name here, use your organization. You can organization's name. So key actions up here. As an employer, we have the ultimate responsibility for the workplace and a direct influence on health and safety in our business. The health and safety policy below outlines our commitment to ensuring that the workplace is as safe and healthy as reasonably practicable, and that all relevant health and safety legislation is complied with. Now, we can't ever cover every single thing. We can't have eyes in the back of our heads. We can't, it's just not possible. So things will happen to no fault of anyone's. So things will happen. So don't be alarmed, but you obviously know that anyway. But what I'm saying is, there are things that won't be in your health and safety statement, and as I say, life happens, accidents happen, but avoiding them is what we're trying to do here, and we're trying to get policies in place and statements in place that people can adhere to, and can actually read. So when you have somebody new starting your organisation, it is always a good idea as well to get them the health and safety statement, so that and ask them to sign off that they've read that and they understand it, and that's backup information, so that if there's an emergency exit that's blocked, and they weren't aware that they were the person responsible for keeping that pallet out of the way, and if it's a caretaker, it's simple things, just simple things. So again, your managing director, the owner, so it would be obviously your chairperson that would sign off on these documents here. So again, read before you sign, and then further down, you've got your company details, your CRO number, your phone, your website, all that. Your section 2, then your safety arrangements. And these are like, we will send this out to everybody on the SEN network to give them a chance to read it. It'll give you a better insight then of what you need to know before you even open up your portal on the BeSmart website. So we'll send this out with the minutes of the meeting anyway, and the recording as well. So basically what you need to do is just read up on all this, and you'll have a good bit of information already before you even go into the website. So roles and responsibilities, again, employers, employees, the person responsible for performing the tasks, who is that? Did you identify them? Then you have your, who's your fire warden, or did you do fire warden training, even your first aid training, manual handling training? So these are things, even just a wee flag to yourselves, well, have we done that? When last did we do it? And again, things like that, or if you need any support with any of that, we can do that through DLDC as well, and the DVC. So give us a call, anywhere you need extra support on, be it any of that training. Again, I'm not going to read all this, because I said there's a lot of pages in this, but I want to take us down to the actions list. And it's further down. Again, this will be going to use anyway. And as I said, this is just a very short version, because I only ticked on, I think it was 4 of the hazards. So the more hazards you check, the more you'll have to do. Again, your emergency checklists, have you or your employees identified the types of emergency situations your business could be exposed to? So yes, no, not applicable. Again, this is you and your employees identified the types. Did you, the consult part, you have to consult with everybody else on your organization to get to complete this document. It's not, so the onus isn't just on you as a manager, the onus is on everyone in your team. Okay, so violence, robbery, as again, look, it's covering things that you mightn't even think of. Violence in the workplace, robbery, what happens? Welfare facilities, workplace requirements, toilets, wash basins, just the basic needs. personal protective equipment that took a whole new level after COVID. So again, but it's your PPE as well. It's your PPE for anybody in out streaming or anybody painting or anybody doing anything at all. Again, with the laptops and with the screens, there's a health and safety measure there as well. And what does your team take time away from the screen use? So all that comes into play. Pregnancy at work, what's the procedures? And then obviously with pregnancy as well brings different hazards, so that the lady would have to be protected and any chemicals or anything that's around it. There's no risks in that area. Young persons, anywhere you're working with young people, you have to complete that risk hazard as well, where we're on the risk assessment. Appendices, forms, records. So we're down here now at the forms and records, and this is the bit that I want to show you is more so. So your induction register again is your employees, how they've been inducted, and their signature to sign off that they've got this document. So everybody should be signing off on that. Typical induction topics. There's a tool there for you to use and what you should be talking to your team about. And you take yes, no, not applicable. So basically, and that's one per employee. And then next one, training register. Have you identified, do they need manual handling? If they don't, if they do, their staff number, their name, the training type, say manual handling, the trainer, who the trainer was, sign off on it and date. If it's not, it's if they don't have the manual handling training done, that's a flag. So you have to let them get the training. You have to provide training for them. Personal protective equipment register. Have they received training on how to use equipment, and what personal protective equipment they need to be wearing when they're using or working with certain equipment in your organization. Responsible persons task register, and then again, this is where you would identify somebody who's responsible for whatever area. So you have basically here, for example, ensuring the safety statement, including the risk assessments, is up to date, accessible and available to all. So who's the person responsible for that? Is it the chairperson? Is it the manager? Is it the committee? And then somebody signs off on it. Again, it's the same the whole way down with all the different elements there. So, and then the next part, emergency information. So when you need to contact next of kin, or you should have that for everybody in your organization as well. So you've got your emergency contact information, your company name, the address of the company, the coordinates. Well, we have the air code as well, which is very useful. So the person's name that's in your team, their role, their phone number, and then their emergency services contact details. So you have the basic, you'll have the usual ones, but then you'll have the utility and service providers. So you have electricity, gas, Irish Water, Health and Safety Authority. This is all very up to date. It's a fantastic, as I say, it's a fantastic website. It's a fantastic tool. So that's for your staff. Yeah, this one now is something that should always be recorded, no matter how small the accident or incident is. There should always be a recording of accidents or incidents, because young people under 18 have up to 2 years after their 18th birthday to make a claim against anything that happened to them in their youth. And otherwise, I think there's another part as well where if somebody is in your organization and has an accident and goes away, and you mightn't hear from them for about a year or so, and the next thing you have a letter from the solicitor, you have a recording of whatever happened. It's always good practice as well, when something happens in your organization, to give your insurance company a heads up as well on the date that it happens. So there's nothing going to come, as we say in Irish, in year of the way. I don't know how you put that in English, but it's not going to come sneak up on them. Part the witness details then, yeah, anybody as well who has witnessed what happened, absolutely take a recording of that. If the witnesses are under 18, you need parent permission. Just know that, parent guardian permission. Safety data sheets, hazardous. So this is all stuff that you can read yourselves. Reports for hazardous substances. I'm going to pull on down much quicker now. Yeah, this is your current controls, fire hazards, the action. So this is where we were putting in yes on the risk assessment. So it's feeding into here. So it's coming out in on your document now. So again, you'll see the hazard for electricity. You'll see the trips and falls. And I think it was 3 or 4 that I clicked on. So there they are there. You will have a much bigger document because you have way more. I just clicked on yes just to get this done for the to do this presentation today to the network. So there's your action list then. It comes out here. And your action list for trips, trips and falls. And again, you have to assign that to somebody, action by. But when you put in the details, as we seen in the earlier slide, you can action it to and action by when, and then the complete date. So that'll automatically populate when you put in the information there. So that's the end of the document, and that's the end of the presentation on health and safety statement and the www.BeSmartWebsite.ie.
Mary, thanks a million. That was really I'm just going to stop the recording here now.